Hi, I'm Slack, this is Tony and welcome to SmogVlog. Today we're going to be reviewing the Battlestar 200 watt from Smoant.
Galactica! So, like the man said, we're doing the Smoant Battlestar, not Galactica, trying to, keep Galacticas to a fucking minimum for this review for you. So, Smoant, a relatively new company to the vaping market, founded at the end of 2015 and releasing their first mod only 8 months ago in April 2016.
Yes, this is a cheap, lightweight, dual 18650 200 watt mod, but where it's lightweight, let's see how it weighs in against some of its more expensive peers.
So guys, with that said, let's dive down now and have a look at that all-important unboxing.
Right, okay, let's unbox the Smoant Battlestar
Galactica.
It's a 200 watt TC mod. Look at it go. So I just love the colours. This is what sort of attracted me to the unit, and yeah, they've sort of followed it through with the box. So coming around the back, it's all the stuff that it does. TC, NI, TI, NICR, and stainless steel. Compact and small and ergonomic, apparently. Magnetic back cover. White and black, yellow, black. Spoon, jar, spoon. Dual 18650 venting holes. I mean, the fact that advertising venting holes is now making me start to worry about the quality of this, though we do have the scratch and sniff code down the bottom. Around the outside, serial number, standard thing. I have a yellow one. I like the yellow one, don't judge me. Battlestar.
Fucking Cylons.
200 watt TC mod and a shipping label, and yeah, that is about it for the outside of the box. So let's dive inside. Okay, we're in, and stuff, shower, one Battlestar
Galactica.
user manual. That's English and Chinese, I'm guessing that is. I'm not going to go too much through this. Just want to see how much spec, button and fire, how to use it, TCR, self-protection, screen prompts, and there we go, we're into another language. Yeah, that's not too bad, it's not too bad. So we have a prompt card which says that every time you put the atomizer on, press the fire button, the device will display new coil plus and same coil down. Pretty standard affair there. Other language. And here's one Smoant QC pass card. There's the mod itself. Let's just see what else is in the box before we get into that. Just smash stuff up in my excitement to get in. Oh, I want it. Oh, I want it. What? Ah, spare magnets. It's not a fuse. I was kind of worried then. Spare magnets. If I could just reach. One USB cable. Looks like quite a nice USB cable. Worth the admission price alone. So here we have the unit. We'll fire it up in a second, but yeah, plus and minus buttons. We've got a USB port down there. Some battery venting going on either side. There's our little screen. Coming around the side, you've got these sort of dents, so they look quite cool. I kind of like that. Oh, magnetic. Very magnetic. So magnetic. One of the reasons that I did get this as well, because it looks a little bit like the RX200, which proved to be a very popular mod. This is a very inexpensive mod itself, so I figured it may prove popular if it's any good. Smoant Battlestar, a bit more battery venting down the bottom there.
Galactica.
Very quickly we will throw some batteries in, so you've got your battery tab here, which hold out the way. Plus down here, plus first. Nice and easy, look at that. Minus down here, plus up there. Nice and easy. We'll flip that over, chuck that on, and there we go, we're in. Look at it go, that was pain free. So here's our ramp up. It's pretty boring actually. Let's see how high we go and how quickly it gets there. Well, like British Rail, it will get there eventually. I'm kind of bored of that now, to be honest. You can go in 0.1 increments, or if you're doing that, you can go down in whole watts. That's kind of cool. So for the menu operation, it's the standard 3 clicks. and that's going to take you into mode select, where you just press your up and down buttons to go through. So variable wattage mode, nickel mode, stainless titanium mode first, stainless steel mode, NC mode, so TCR memory 1, memory 2, memory 3, and back to variable wattage mode. Quickly, while we're up top, you've got this slightly hexagonal, which looks remarkably familiar from something else. Nice stiff spring loading on there. The threads look good internally. You've got this little cup with some sort of air heaty jobbers going on there. Yeah, it's quite a nice looking unit. It's fairly small in the hand. But yeah, that's about it from the unboxing. So back to the idiots on the sofa.
Thank you there, Slack, for that adequate unboxing.
Yeah, we should say that this was unboxed ages before we started deciding splitting up the unboxing and the normal videos. So yeah, this is sort of going back to our usual format. So yeah, sorry, but you know, we'll get our shit together.
There will be a period where it's absolutely completely fucked. Just go with it.
Yeah, just go with it.
But with that said, let's have a look at those all-important power range, tech specs, features, protections, all that good stuff.
So power output goes from 1 watt up to the full 200 watts. Its variable wattage goes from 0.1 ohm all the way up to whatever it feels like, because it doesn't say. Temp control we're a little bit unsure about, because one manual says that it goes from 0.1 up, however online it says 0.05, bit of a discrepancy there. It's a compact size, 83mm by 43mm. It's very lightweight as well, weighing in at only 136 grams. It does temp control in nickel, titanium, stainless steel. It's got TCR modes, nichrome mode, and all that good stuff. It's got pass-through charging, which is a nice addition. It's got the standard protections of low resistance, overtime, reverse polarity, and overheating protection.
Okay guys, let's dive down quickly and have a look at those all-important button pushes. Tap, tap, tap.
Right, let's touch this sucker up. So I've just attached an atomizer. I'm going to press the go button. You get the standard up and down. Yeah, new coil, same coil, and that's brilliant. Nice and easy. So menu operation for this, you've got a couple of sort of quick hacks where you can press plus and minus at the same time to flip the screen. You can press go plus and minus to do power lock. But the main menu operation for the device, 3 clicks, and you cycle 3 modes. So you've got variable wattage mode, nickel mode, titanium mode, stainless steel, nichrome mode, TCR memory 1, 2 and 3, and then back to variable wattage mode. So if you go in, say, stainless steel, as this is a stainless steel coil, it's the same effect. It's turn your temperature up and down. If you want to adjust your wattage you're running at, it's right and go, I believe. Yeah, so I pressed it too long. And you can go in and say, actually, I'll turn that up a bit. And there, you've adjusted your wattage, nice and simple. For TCR, that's again nice and simple. You go into TCR, you tell it what you want it to be, and that's it, done. Again, the wattage adjustment's the same, and that is about it. I mean, it's really simple to use. It is just basic, easy, nice. Back to the studio.
And here we are back in the room once more. Thank you, Slack, for that button pushes.
Yeah, pushed all the buttons.
He definitely,
Some of them.
yeah, he felt that sucker up good and proper.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely knew it. Now, they are a touch on the rattly side.
Yeah, but I mean, they are perfectly usable, you know, so here's our rattle, you know, it's there, you can't avoid that. But in your hand it doesn't rattle too much. It's mainly the go button that does the rattling, and when your finger's lightly pressed over it, that isn't going to be bothering you. It's not particularly annoying, it's just noticeable. In terms of button presses, they actually work really well. I never get anywhere I go to press it to vape and it doesn't work. You know, it's been really reliable. There is one downside though around button presses, and that's turning the fucker off and on. So, you know, usually you 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off, but with this you just keep going until it turns off, because 5 clicks never works for me. I don't know why, but yeah, I'll just do 7 or 8 or something, and then it's probably fine. Within that time it'll have worked.
Now moving across to menu operation. It's got the standard 3-click menu, very simple to use and very intuitive. I mean, if you've used any vaping stuff before, it's exactly that.
Okay, next up, following on from the menu operation, we've got to talk about firmware. Now, there's a bit of a split between me and Tony on this one. So there is no firmware update for it. The USB port is for charging and even pass-through charging, which is really cool. However, there's no firmware update. Now, Tony has some feelings about this, but has decided to take a vape. So I'm just going to say that Tony's wrong on this point. Tony?
I disagree. The only thing that we were having a conversation about earlier was the fact that he says out of the box it's fine, and I was saying, well, okay, that's fine for you, but not everyone is you. So if they get it out of the box and they find they're not happy with it, well then fuck me, they're completely fucked because there's no firmware update on it. They cannot. There's no tweakage to it. If anything else needs happening to this, you buy it. That's it. I mean, this is fucking Snowwolf again.
Yeah, that's true. There is definitely an element of that going on. You know, what you buy is what you get, and this is the term that we sort of coined a while back. And that's a risk. That's definitely a big risk on Smoant's part, because if something is wrong, if there was a problem with it, then that's it. Tough. Have this pile of shit and just get on with it. But here, for me, certainly, I'm perfectly happy with everything. The temp control works really well out of the box. You've got adjustable TCR, so I think they've got away with it. And for me, I'm happy. I probably wouldn't look to upgrade this firmware, even if there was one that I knew that was out, just because it does everything I want it to do at the moment.
I agree, and the argument can be made that you'll never be able to update the firmware because there is no firmware to update. That being said, for our testing methodology, everything that we've put it through and everything that we've used it for, it's worked. We are both happy with the operation of it, but we as reviewers are just two people in the fucking world, so you got to take it with a pinch of salt. If it don't work for you, you got to bin it and get another thing.
So, Temp Control now. We've already said, I really like how it works. It's been one of the better implementations of Temp Control that we've seen for a device. And it's a cheap device as well. It's kind of surprising. It sort of blows away some more expensive competitors. So, it's definitely a nice thing. I do most of my Temp Control vaping on stainless steel. And for that, it is just flawless for how I like it. You turn the temperature up and it turns the temperature up. It's that simple. It's none of this sort of hard on, hard off or any problems that you get elsewhere. Hard on. Another thing that's quite cool is it's got a nichrome temp control mode as well. It's one of the options. You usually see the big three, your stainless steel, your nickel and your titanium, but as well as an NC mode on there, which is cool. But as well as that, you've got your 3 different TCR memory modes, so you just set them according to what you want, so you can temp control on whatever you like that does temp control. The only downside we found with this is that the temp control, certainly from our testing and what we found in the manual, is that it won't do temp control under 0.1 ohms. Now that's generally only a problem for me if I'm on nickel, where it's sort of about 0.06, it's somewhere around there. It's real sort of low. And my test build that I usually use, which is 0.06, didn't fire on it, so we do believe that is correct, that it doesn't go below 0.1.
So moving over to battery life for you, and in our testing when we've been using it, we've found that the dual 18650s, the amount of battery life you get out of it is as you would expect. I mean, we found it to be good. Yeah, even on temp control, it was just what you would expect, which is nice. Some temp control is a bit aggressive and sort of cane your batteries, but not here. It all runs as expected. One thing that didn't run as expected was the actual battery life indicator. This was a real shocker. Again, for a cheap device, massive shocker. I was sort of using it. I hadn't been first use, using it for a while. Hadn't been using it too long. It's like, wow, I'm at half battery already. Now, on most mods, so many that we've reviewed lately, half battery means you have run out of battery power. Full charge is right at the end. When you're halfway, it just starts going down, and then when it's empty, it's about halfway down the meter. This meter works exactly as it says. It's bizarre. I'm just so not used to it. It goes all the way down to empty before your batteries are empty. It works properly. Brilliant. Okay, now we're going to move on to the hardware sort of side of things, and we're going to start with the battery cover.
Yeah, it's one of my bugbears, battery covers, loose, rattly battery covers, but this is just rock solid. It is on there, like it's magnetised, which it is. It's got 4 magnets, strong magnets. It's not going to be falling off. You've got a nice sort of battery pull and everything. That's it, it's on. There's even spare magnets in the box, which hopefully we won't need because they're going to stay in place, right? But yeah, it is just a good battery door.
In terms of battery venting, I mean, they've drilled this fucker to within an inch of its life. It's got, you know, holes on the actual battery cover itself. It's got 4 holes on the mod, and then you've got underneath the mod, you know, loads more fucking holes. If you do ever have a problem with venting batteries, this thing will deal with it quite well.
Yeah, as well, it's got the pop-off cover, so you know you're not creating a pipe bomb in your pocket. But I don't have any worries about that. It seems like a nice solid mod. So the 510 connector on the Battlestar is pretty decent. You know, it's got a little cup for it to sit in, and the threads are good. The spring's good. You know, there it is, nice and blurry. You can't really see it, but you know, I'm going to do it anyway. It's just there. Pow, that's what it looks like. Enjoy.
So, moving on to portability, size and weight for the Battlestar Galactica. It's lightweight, it's comfy to hold, it's easy to find the buttons. I haven't once said that it is the poor cousin to the Reload 2/3, so I'm going to install that here.
Yeah, for me, I think they've done good with the weight of it. It feels nice and solid, yet you know it doesn't weigh too much with that. And again, with the size for a dual 18650, it is a nice small size. Fits in the pocket, fits in the hand, and yeah, button placement good. So the styling of the unit, as Tony pointed out, it does look very familiar to a different device, but you know, it's good. I like it. I really like it, and it's available in a ton of colours, including this funky Bruce Lee effort that they've got.
See, I would have gone with Bumblebee, but yeah, horses for courses. Very quickly covering off the warranty for you, the manual inside the box makes reference to 90 days.
Yeah, it also says what we say, you break it, you bought it. It almost says it in those words, which is nice, you know, nice and open and honest, which is kind of what you want to hear. Okay guys, we've reached that special stage at the show where we're going to sum up by way of pros and cons. As always, we're going to be starting on the cons so we can have a happy ending and finish on a high, or something like that. Anyway, starting with the cons. First up on the cons list,
guys, is leaving a like down below for Slack and that awesome performance, because, for God's sake, I thought that was going to be about 10 minutes worth of fuck-ups right there, and he fucking nailed it in one hit.
Yeah.
Even taking the piss out of me at the start. But starting with those all-important cons, it's written here, how many clicks for on and off? 7 till it works.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's kind of a minor thing because now I've used it enough that I know I just keep clicking it until it comes on, or I just keep clicking it till it goes off. But you know, it's not supposed to be like that. So there's something obviously not great with it. So it's made its way in the cons list. And while we're talking about button presses, the next con for me has got to be that rattly button. You know, again, it's not terrible. I've definitely had worse, but you know, it needs to go on the cons list because nobody likes a rattly button. Maybe.
Next up on the cons is the fact that it is not firmware updatable. Slack's written here, but actually doesn't really need it, apart from that first con where he said 7 clicks on and off, which could actually be fixed with a firmware update. But we'll just gloss over that.
And lastly on the cons list has got to be the fact that Temp Control seems to only work for 0.1 ohms and above, so let's go rule out some of you nickel temp controllers out there, which is a shame because Temp Control does work really well. Okay guys, between cons and pros, we're going to have our pros section back because, you know, it's something we occasionally do when we've got stuff where we can't decide. It needs mentioning, it needs to go somewhere, but we can't really decide. So we're bringing pros back. Yeah, so first one on this pros list is that the screen itself feels a bit dated. It kind of feels like something I was vaping on a couple of years ago. Now, the screen is good and perfectly usable. This is why it isn't in the cons list. There's no problem with it. It seems energy efficient. There's nothing wrong with it. It just sort of looks a bit dated. Even the button sort of arrangement, again, it just feels a bit dated. But, you know, it's a cheap mod. It works well, so it's made it onto the pros.
Next up on the pros is it's got a time bomb inside it. In operation, you hear the PCB power up, and PCBs, if you've got quite good hearing, you can hear that there's a particular sort of hum to them. With this one, if you actually hold it up to your head, which I did because I was in a reflective room. It was against the wall, and I could hear a... It's not that loud. I'm just saying that so that you understand what I'm talking about. But you've got to fucking hold it up to your ear. You've got to hold it up to your ear to hear this. And if that's the sort of thing that pisses you off, well, you'll know about it when you buy this mod.
Yeah, through all my hours of testing, I didn't notice that. However, I do suffer with tinnitus too many nights at rock clubs and shit like that. But, you know, once Tony pointed out, I put it, oh yeah, it did sound like a clock. I was waiting for the alligator to come. Crocodile. Crocodile? TikTok? Hook? Where are we? Who fell off the what? Damn it! And lastly, for the prawns list, it comes with spare magnets. Now, you may think, great, yeah, it comes with spare magnets, so if anything happens to my magnets, then I've got some spares, which is cool, which is why it's on the prawns list, but also it's a bit of a worry. So far, so good. I haven't had any issues, no magnets come out, but, you know, to get spare magnets on a model, I don't want these magnets to come out. Rare earth magnets, you know, if my dog swallows, there'll be all sorts of problems, so let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm sure it will be fine.
It does lead you to think in your brain that them at the factory have been using the door, and it's like, oh no, well, the magnets have come up. I'll tell you what, we'll just put extra magnets in there, so if ever it happens, they've got spare magnets, and you're just like, you don't want that to happen. Yeah,
I mean, you get a spare wheel in your car, and you're expecting to get a puncture, and you might need to use it. If you bought a car and it come with a spare engine, you'd be like, hang on, what's this about? Okay, guys, we finally made it to the full-on pros section. So, Tony, first pro.
First pro has got to be price and how cheap this mod is. Now, while Slack did actually buy this a while ago and it was at a lower price, through popularity, it is actually starting to, well, go through the roof.
I wouldn't go as far as go through the roof. It's still cheaper than a lot of other options from bigger names, but you know that's kind of good. In a way, you know, you've seen a new company start up. They've built something that was cheap, and it's been really popular. So the price is going up. I hope that's getting back to them, so they can do some more development in the future. You know, if we're going to end up paying more, as long as it's not shops just fleecing us, and some of that is going back to the manufacturer. Next up on the pros list has got to be the fact that for a lightweight design, this is actually a really tough, solid unit. You know, even the battery door is on there rock solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to be, you know, falling off. Even if it takes a knock, you just going to survive. You know, it's good.
Next up on the pros list is pass-through charging. Now, Slack decided to put this on the list, and I wasn't too sure about it because it's dual 18650 device. Now, while it is a pro that it's able to take that emergency top-up in an emergency when you need extra juice, like we always say, it's always best to put batteries in a dedicated battery charger.
Yeah, better for cell life, better for, you know, it's safer, and it's what we always do. However, it is nice to have that option if you're caught out somewhere, but you've got your laptop and a USB cable, and you know, you're not dead in the water.
We've all been caught there with our pants down.
Next up's got to be the out-of-the-box temp control settings. For me, stainless steel, it just works so well, and it's one of the better ones we've reviewed lately.
Next up has got to be the battery door and how well it's actually been constructed. I don't know if they've used CNC construction on this or what, but it is fucking millimetre perfect. In testing, we've both sort of like given it a bit of a... But it is very well constructed, and it sits on there with purpose, without movement, left, right, up, down.
And lastly for the pros list, there's got to be that battery life indicator. This is honestly the best battery life indicator I've had on a dual 18650 mod ever. It is just so reliable, so accurate, and just a pleasant surprise to see being empty on the indicator, not halfway down.
So guys, in summing up for the Smoant Battlestar, it's a cheap device, or at least it was when we got it. It is in a market with devices that are slowly going up and through the roof, as it were. It's still very keenly priced as far as we're concerned. And to see that coming from a new company like Smoant, they've done a brilliant job. They've really nailed what they were going for here, and I hope that translates into more money for them to be able to produce even better devices for us. Okay guys, so that has been our review of the Smoant Battlestar.
Galactica.
I wasn't going to say that, and I still can't win because he just says it. Guys, thank you for watching. If you like what you're seeing and what we're doing, please drop a like and do the whole subscribe thing because it helps us out a lot. Also follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, because we are a bit
chatty. Yeah, if you've got any questions about this device or anything else, hit us up in the comments section below, find us on social media. But for now, guys, Battlestar Galactica.
It's going to be a long evening, I know it is. Well, this isn't going to go smoothly.
Do you like it rough?
Are we recording?
Yep.
You bastard.
It's not going to stay there. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, God damn it. Every
Just
time.
leave it. Just leave it. It's not going to stay. Nice. Yeah, so this is... what was the first cheap? Let's try again. Yeah, so this is a cheap dual 18/6. It's going well. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not too bad.
I usually show what other languages.
There's only 2 languages in it.
What was the other language?
No idea, it doesn't say because it's written in the other language. In which case, we're getting glasses.
Remember to take them off afterwards.
Yep. So power output goes from 1 watt through to the... It's going well.
Right, moving on now to button quality. The button... Now, they are a touch on the rattly side, but very... What was it you say? Get my fucking teeth in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still wearing my glasses.
Fuck!
Brilliant. I thought I could read everything really well.
Hey, look everyone, it's Superman now!
Yeah. I was just having a feel.
It's just having a feel. Oh. Ah. Oof. Oof.
As Tony pointed out, it does look very familiar to a different device, but you know, it's good. I like it. I really like it, and it's available in a ton of colours, including this funky Bruce Lee effort that they've got.
See, I would have gone with Bumblebee, but
Yeah.
horses for courses. Bumblebee from Transformers.
I was thinking the Transformer noise. I'm like, how do I do that? Oh yeah, I don't. I'm not a computer.
Oh, damn it! I know the noise. Yeah, no, we can't do that.
Maybe if I punch me.
Punch you in the throat.
Yeah. And it's coming right for us. Right, moving on to summing up by way of pros and cons.
Oh, do you want to say this?
No.
We need some outtakes.
Oh, God. Alright, okay, let's give it a go. What could go wrong? Wait, I've got to do... Shut up, okay. Right. And lastly on the cons list, lastly,
Construction on this or what, but it is fucking millimetre perfect. We've both tried rubbing it. That doesn't sound good. In testing, we've both sort of like given it a bit of a... There's no fucking great way to say this.
How's your hole that you're digging?